All right, so I made these tiny little cuts here. We're going to glue these down. Again, you use a little bit of weld bond. You don't need a lot, and you don't really want it to be so gloppy that it's going to squish out the sides really badly. I do have an X-Acto knife or my tweezers that I can trim, you know, clean that up. And the reason you want to have that edge clean is if the glue squishes out and you don't clean that edge and you leave it, it will get hard. And then, let's say the next piece of glass you come in and want to put next to it, it won't quite fit the way you want it to because there's a big glob of glue impeding it to get close to. So what I do is I put a little bit of glue on, you know, just anything I can throw away. And I kind of tap it down a little bit and then scrape it off a little bit. So it doesn't have to be everywhere, right? But you want a nice little thin coat. And let's put this guy down because he's the prettiest color. It's the prettiest piece out there. And it doesn't dry so quick that you can't, you know, do a little wiggle room with it, okay? Give it a little press to kind of seat it in there. And you see, I don't have any glue squishing out the edges, so I feel really comfortable with having that piece right there. I'm gonna do the same thing with this little guy and put that tip right up there where he belongs. And again, you need to leave a little bit of a gap for your grout lines. Your grout lines want to be pretty consistent. But there's going to be times where it might be closer one place than the other. Like right here, it's a little bit closer than what it is right here. I'm okay with that. That's what gives your piece its personality, is the slight imperfections in it, actually. But be mindful. You want to try to be neat and consistent. So again, I drag my glass. This is the way I do it. You may find a different way to do yours, and that's okay. And place it down. This has got a little bit of glue on the edge. I'm gonna take my tweezers and just kind of skim that edge a little bit. Now, if you're putting something down immediately afterwards, it's not a deal breaker that there's a little bit of glue seepage on the side. I just want the glass to be the same height. And I'm going to clean around that edge too. You don't want it to harden, and you always be mindful of what's coming next. So here I've got a little guy here. I'm going to use my tweezers. Let's see. And don't worry about the carbon paper lines. They clean right up. So you see I have grout line here, grout line there, a little bit of grout line there, and then I'm gonna put this right here. Now, after we glue this down, we're gonna have some fun with nipping some glass so we have pieces that will fit into these tight little spots. And you can really have fun with that, I think. This is kind of like creating your own puzzle. But you get to dictate the size and shape of your pieces. And I'm gonna put that right up there. There you go. Love it. Push down a little bit. Got a bit of a grout line going on here. And again, I didn't stay in the lines, but that's okay. These patterns, they're guidelines. They're not absolute must-have. You've got to, you know, this isn't coloring inside the lines. You might want to do a little bit more meticulous when it comes to this frog, but all of this is going to be surrounded by your background. So it's okay if things aren't exactly the way it is to the pattern, okay? Glue that down. And again, just be mindful of these edges. They are sharp. If you respect the glass, it will respect you. There will be a few times. It's kind of like a paper cut, but with glass. Little blood, sweat, and tears put in this project. Okay, I'm gonna clean up this glue a little bit. And then let's glue this down and give him a bit of a tip, okay? All right, now it didn't quite line up exactly like the pattern, but I'm okay with that. Just turn out a little bit more organic. Now you got a little squidge of glue in the middle. I like to get those out as well, just so I can know that grout will fit in there nicely. Okay, so we're gonna give this guy a little bit of a tip. We find a piece that's almost there, then you can use that and see how that goes along with that line. And then I'm going to give it this little tip right here. Get our nippers. Sometimes this glass will pop far away. So after I've lined it up, I kind of hold my hand around it a little bit and I nip so it comes off in my hand. And that's a beautiful little tip there. Now you can fill this in with a little bit of orange. We have plenty of scraps here, or that can be part of the green. And adjust, make sure you've got some space in here for your grout lines. Second glance, I really like this. As you see, it's not exactly what's going on with your colored reference, but it's really going to make a really nice start to this, this project.